Hi, I'm Rich Risbridger, and I'm a teacher at Asheville Community Yoga. Asheville Community Yoga is a marvelous yoga studio that's donation-based, so we make yoga available to everyone. It's a non-profit organization, and we're all really devoted to that service of giving the yoga and letting that be a part of people's lives. I know it's really important to me. So today we're going to talk about Upavistha Konasana. Upavistha Konasana is one of the poses in the Ashtanga primary series. That's the yoga tradition that I primarily come from. Teach Ashtanga here at Asheville Community Yoga. I've been doing it for many years in general. Upavistha Konasana basically means, it sounds like a long name, but in Sanskrit it basically translates to seated angle pose. That's all. So let's get to it. In seated angle pose, it's kind of like what you may remember as a straddle split, and we all start in a very different place with that. So I'm going to start it from the simplest for the folks who are the least flexible and go all the way to super flexible people along the way. When I started doing this pose sometime around 15 years ago, I'm going to show you about where I was, and this is where you might be starting. So there we go. The important thing here is that we're not rounding the back and we're not trying to lean forward when we can't lean forward. We're not bringing the shoulders up around the ears. So you're starting with as tall of a back as you can, hands behind you, fingertips pointed away. And as you get more and more flexible with this, the hands come a little bit closer, the lean starts to come forward, the top of the pelvis is coming forward, the bottom of the pelvis is sitting back, and you eventually find yourself here. Now notice, as I'm going to come forward, I'm not going to really change the position of my pelvis and back. So I come forward to bring my hands to my knees, my legs, my ankles. What a lot of folks will do if they're really feisty and they want to get deep into this pose, but before their body is ready for it, and mindfulness is really crucial. You can't force yourself deeper into any of these poses, is rather than coming forward with this back, the pelvic tilt like we did, in order to come forward, they'll do something like this. Please avoid that. You're not doing yourself or your practice any help by doing that. So just have patience. It'll come. It came for me. Watch how far I go eventually. 15 years ago, remember, here. So we're leaning forward, hands come to the feet, ankles, eventually they come to the big toes, eventually they come to the outsides of the feet. So we're going to switch perspectives here for a moment. So I start, and if you're flexible and you're not familiar with the pose, you might want to start with that hands behind you, push the top of the pelvis forward, because that pelvic position is crucial to getting really deep into the pose. So the hands come however far they go, the body starts to lean, you got the big toes, maybe you got the outsides of the feet, I don't know if you can still see them on the camera, but they're there. And notice how I'm leaning with my sternum, and I start to lead the body down. First you might come forehead, nose, chest, eventually belly, all the way to the ground, assuming your anatomy allows that. And the drishti, the gazing point, is your third eye, so really tranquil. When you're on your way out, make sure to come out gently so that you don't give any chance for strain on the legs. And like I like to do with all of these poses with all levels, I like to throw a little treat in at the end. Where does this pose go? You've been practicing for a long time. You've got a lot of flexibility. You've been working on the rest of your practice. You've got a lot of strength. Well, I'm going to scoot forward so that there's space enough behind me to do this. If you've been doing this pose for a while, you've got enough flexibility that maybe you can lean this far forward. I encourage you to bring your hands in close, about shoulders distance, maybe a tiny bit closer. Lean forward and try and lift. Every single time you do this, you get a little bit stronger, get a little bit more body awareness, and this is where it goes. So that is Upavistha Konasana, seated angle pose, one of the poses from primary series. Another pose I really enjoy an awful lot. I hope you enjoy it too. And I'm Rich Risbridger with Asheville Community Yoga. Thanks.